Hey everyone, it's me Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, it's going to be my June wrap up, and at the time that I'm filming this intro, I've already finished reading everything for the month of June, and I literally just forgot to film an intro at the very beginning of the month. So this is me kind of backpedaling and trying to film this intro now. So in the month of June, I ended up reading 10 books, which I will talk about throughout this video. And yeah, I had a pretty decent reading month. I have had my reading slowing down a little bit just because school has been absolutely kicking my butt lately, and that has been totally fine. But I definitely feel like I have been connecting more with the stories that I have been reading, even though my reading has been slowing down. So honestly, at this point, I would rather have quality over quantity. And I feel like in this month, I definitely found some good reads. I have given out more 5 stars this month than I have all year, so super excited about that. But yeah, with that being said, let's get into the video. Hello, so today is June 2nd and I have finished my first book for the month, and I have finished The Right Move by Liz Tom Ford. It's over there. I already put it in my book stack for the month, so I don't have it to like show it, but I have finished it and I think I'm gonna rate it 4.5 stars. So I really enjoyed this. It follows Ryan, who is a basketball player, and Indy, who's a flight attendant, and Ryan is Stevie from the first book's brother, and Indy is Stevie's best friend. And so it's like a forced proximity type situation because Indy needs a place to live because her boyfriend cheated on her and they were living together, so now she has nowhere to go. So she ends up staying with Ryan, and then they just kind of fall in love from there. And I really enjoyed the story. I feel like I didn't like it as much as Mile High because I just felt like I related a lot more to Stevie in Mile High than I did Indy, but I did still really love the story and definitely would recommend it. And I am just such a big Liz Tom Ford fan. Like, I will continue to read everything that she puts out. Like, the next book, Caught Up, comes out in October, and that is going to be like a single dad romance, so I'm super excited to read that one when that comes out. But yeah, so that is going to be it for now, and I will talk to you guys when I finish another book. Hello, so today is June 4th and I have just finished my second book of the month, and that is Dark Fae by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti, and this is the first book in the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac series, and I have decided to give this book 3 stars. So basically this is a reverse harem bully-ish kind of romance. So basically we're following our main girl Elise, and her brother has been murdered, and she has decided that she's going to Aurora Academy to get revenge on the person that killed her brother. And so when she gets there are these 4 kings, and they're all like very interested in her and trying to basically claim her in a sense, but she like isn't having anything to do with that. So it's definitely interesting, the premise. There is like this like drug that's going around and like all that kind of stuff, and there's like a cult or something in this, but it definitely was interesting. It wasn't like the best thing I've ever read, and I definitely do think like the first books in the Zodiac Academy series were a little bit like more interesting than this, but I am still interested in continuing on the series, and I'm actually going to order the second book right now because I really want to jump on in to the second book. So I'm gonna go ahead and order that, but I'll probably end up reading something else before I get the second book. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this update, and I will update you guys again when I finish another book. Hello, so today is June 7th and I wanted to update that I have finished a book today. So I finished The Ritual by Chantal Tessier, I think is how you pronounce the last name, and I decided to give this 4 stars. This was a dark college romance that involves like a secret society, and this was definitely very dark. It followed Riot and Blakely, and Riot is in this secret society called the Lords, and Blakely has been chosen as an assignment for Riot to basically make her his lady, so that way the guy that she is like betrothed to doesn't end up like marrying her basically. And it's secret society, dark romance, very dark, a lot of triggers, and yeah, just basically a lot of triggers. So if you are thinking about reading this book, then I definitely would recommend checking the trigger warnings because it is pretty dark. I have since started the second book and it is even darker than the first one. So, okay, well, I don't want to even say second book, but it's basically the second book, but it is darker than the first one. So if you are deciding that you might want to check out this book, then definitely check the trigger warnings. But overall 4 stars, really enjoyed it. Wasn't sure what I was going to end up rating it, but it was a fun time, so 4 stars. But now that I finished that, it's time to move on to the next book. Hello, so today is June 10th and I have finished another book for the month. So I just finished The Sinner by Chantal Tessier, I think is how you pronounce it. Really not sure still at this point. So I just finished it like a few minutes ago, and honestly I don't know what I'm gonna rate it because I didn't really, dang, that truck is flying out of this parking lot. So I didn't really love it. Like, I didn't really like it all that much. Like, it is a dark romance. Obviously it is a follow-up to The Ritual, but also not, because it takes place during the same time as The Ritual, but it follows like different characters. And this one was just so dark. Like, I don't like, it made me like very like uncomfortable reading it, which, you know, obviously certain dark romances, that is like the point, but like there was just a lot of things that were going on in this book that just like didn't make a lot of sense to me as to why they were in there and exactly what was going on. I felt like it was kind of confusing reading, and like the pacing was just like kind of weird with like everything that was going on, and like the main character was just so like dumb. Like, I'm like I understand that you have had a lot of trauma in the past, but I figured that she would like learn from the past and not continue to do things to put herself in the situation that she was getting into, and it was just so like weird. So I feel like I didn't like really like it. I'm thinking I might end up giving it like 2.5 stars because I really enjoyed The Ritual, but this one just was not it for me. So yeah, not really sure. Like, definitely I don't think I would recommend that one. I think probably I would recommend The Ritual, but The Sinner probably not. So I am probably going to take a break and read something like light and fluffy now, because that one was just a lot. So yeah, 2.5 stars. Take with that what you will. So I am now going to move on to my next book, and I will update you guys when I finish another one. Hello, so today is June 14th and I have finished a book. So I just finished Happy Place by Emily Henry, and I'm giving this 5 stars. I loved this book. This was so good. I really enjoyed honestly everything. Like, the writing was really good, the setting was really good, the characters were really good. I really enjoyed the underlying plot of friendship that was in this, and I really loved taking a dive into Harriet and Wynn's relationship, and this just felt so realistic to me. Like, I felt like the progression of their relationship and the way that things happened the way that they did, and kind of like the falling out, it made like a lot of sense to me, and it seemed like a very realistic thing. Like, it wasn't this massive fallout that they had to cause their relationship to end. It was something that like progressed over time, and I just felt like that was so realistic, and I just like loved everything about this book. Like, it made me feel so many emotions. Like, it made me feel hurt for Harriet and Wynn. It made me feel hope for them, that they would work things out. Like, you could feel the angst between them, and like, it was just so good. So good. So if you have not read this book, then I highly recommend it. Like I said, I'm giving this 5 stars, and I'm really happy that I read this. But now that I've finished this book, it's time to move on to the next one. Hello. So today is June 17th and I finished a book. So I just finished Queen of Myth and Monsters, and I am going to be giving this 3 stars. This is the second book in the Adrian X Isolde series. I don't know how many books there's going to be. There's only 2 books out right now, but I just finished this book and I'm going to give it 3 stars. So this book was just like very mid. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like fantastic either. Like, the ending was kind of like okay. Like, there were some reveals that, you know, I wasn't really expecting, but also at the same time, like, I don't really feel super invested in this story and like connecting with these characters. Like, the story is like fine. Obviously it's about vampires, and it was a arranged marriage of convenience type deal, and like there's blood magic and like different things in it, but overall I'm just like not really connecting with the characters or like the story itself. itself, like for me, the story has just been like, okay. So I don't really know if I'm going to continue with this series, but yeah, it is kind of like a toxic love story and things like that. It is a little bit darker. Like I wouldn't classify this as like a dark fantasy romance, but there are some darker topics that are talked about within this series. But overall, I just think that it has been like okay, and I don't really know if I will continue on with this series. But I do want to read the Hades and Persephone series because I did read the first one by Scarlett St. Clair and really loved it when I read it. So I want to reread it and then read the rest of the series. But as far as like this series, I just don't think this one is for me. But her writing is very good and yeah, very smutty. So if you're looking for a smutty fantasy romance, this series might be for you. But now that I'm done with that, I'm going to move on to my next book. Hello, so today is June 19th and I have finished another book today. So I finished The Rookie and the Rock Star and I'm going to be giving this 4 stars. So this is a baseball romance that follows our main guy Bo, who is the rookie on a professional baseball team, and our girl Charlotte, also known as Lola, who is a rock star or like a famous singer and like childhood actor. And they meet one night at a charity event. Bo ends up giving Charlotte a ride home and there's like a connection, and then they just kind of start seeing each other and like falling in love and stuff like that. I really enjoyed the story. It was very unexpected. I have never read anything by Jiffy Kate before. Like I really only found this book because I had seen a like baseball TikTok of like the Savannah Bananas, and if you don't know who the Savannah Bananas are, they are a like baseball team out of Savannah, Georgia, and they do like dancing and stuff. It's like fun baseball, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't know. But so basically I had seen this TikTok and was like, oh my god, I really want to read a baseball romance, but I didn't know any like baseball romances off the top of my head. So I literally just went to Kindle Unlimited and typed in baseball romance, and it was the first one that popped up, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not, we'll give it a go. And I'm so happy that I read it because I really enjoyed it, giving it 4 stars. And I'm even going to read the next book in the series, so I'll probably end up starting that later this week sometime. But yeah, so that is it for now, and I will talk to you guys again when I finish another book. Hello. So today is, what's today's date? Today is June 20th, and I wanted to update that I have just finished another book. So I just finished The Ace and the Assistant by Jiffy Kate, and this was the second book in the New Orleans Revelers series, and I have decided to give this one 4 stars. So this was an accidental pregnancy trope, friends to lovers book. There was a little bit of an age gap. It was like 8 years of an age gap. So overall, I really enjoyed it. It followed Charlotte from the first book's sister and Beau's teammate. And so basically our main girl, I kind of forgot her name. It's been 2 seconds. Casey has started working for Ross as his assistant because Ross has just been through a divorce, and it was not necessarily messy, but he wasn't really handling it very well. So he hires Casey to come in and be his assistant and basically kind of clean up his life a little bit, and they end up basically having a one-night stand, but it wasn't really because he had to go away for like training camp. But anyways, during that one night that they spent together, she ends up getting pregnant, and so then basically it's just about her figuring out how to tell him that she's pregnant, and them just kind of like trying to figure out if they want a relationship or if they just want to see how it goes and just try to like play it by ear basically. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I definitely think that I liked the first one a little bit better, but I still did really enjoy them enough to rate them the same. I just feel like I enjoyed them a little bit differently as far as like different aspects of each story was concerned, but I still am really enjoying Jiffy Kate's writing style. I just feel like they write very well, and like you can't even like tell that it's 2 authors, which is like awesome. So I definitely do think that I will be reading more books from them in the future. But that is going to be it for now, and I will update you guys once I finish another book. book. Hello. So today is June 22nd and I have finished a book. So I recently finished, I keep forgetting the name of it because they all start with a freaking G. So today I finished Glint by Raven Kennedy and I've decided to give it 4 stars. So this is the second book in the Plated Prisoner series and I've been reading this book for probably about 3 weeks now. I have been really enjoying it and I feel like it took me so long to read it because like I started it but I wasn't like super in like a fantasy mood, but once I hit around the halfway mark I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I am in a fantasy mood now. So I ended up finishing it today. I really enjoyed the story and there was like a plot twist at the end that wasn't really like plot twisty to me because I was like, oh my gosh, like literally I knew it, but things are starting to kind of come together and I am getting more excited for the future books in this series. So I definitely do see myself continuing on with this series pretty soon. But yeah, so overall I really liked it. If you're not aware of what the Plated Prisoner series is about, it is a King Midas retelling and it follows our main girl. Her name is Auren and she is like what is considered the king's favored saddle, and Auren is what they would call gold touched, and so she has like gold skin and like gold hair and like she only wears gold, and Midas keeps her in a like gilded cage, and so Auren is like not allowed to like go anywhere outside of this cage. So he has like built her a cage in the castle to where she is only able to like walk through the castle in this cage. And so yeah, that's basically it on what it's about. But the first book was like okay in my opinion. I read it last year and then I just randomly decided to continue on with the series just like one random day, but now I'm going to move on to the third book eventually. But overall enjoying the series. It's seeming to get better as we go. So yeah, but that's gonna be it for now and I will update you guys once I finish another book. Hello, so today is June 25th and I have just finished another book. So I have finished Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren and I am giving this 5 stars. This book was so good. Like I was worried that I might not like the book because it has so much hype around it, and usually for Christina Lauren their books are usually either like hit or miss for me, and The Unhoneymooners was so popular and had so much hype around it and I just really did not like that book. So with this one having as much hype, if not more hype than The Unhoneymooners, I was worried that I might not like this one. But this was honestly so good and I did kind of spoil myself for it. I think I had seen someone talking about it on like Twitter or TikTok or something where I knew part of what happened in the end, but even then like it still felt very like impactful to me, very hard-hitting still. Like the ending of this book definitely did make me cry, and like I'm not usually one to cry in books, but this one there was just something about it that just had me like so in my feels regarding the things that happened in this book. And yeah, I love this. If you have not read this, I highly recommend checking this book out. But I'm so happy that I read this. But now that I have finished this book, I am going to update you guys when I finish another one. We still have a few days left in the month, so I think there's still about 5 there's 5 days left in the month after today. So I do see myself probably finishing like another 2 books maybe this month, so I will update you guys the next time I finish a book. So that is going to be all for my June wrap up. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. I'll have all of my social medias linked down in the description and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.